Good. Good morning. Okay. So let's bring the energy. We're going to start with a snap. Everyone going to get into a snap with us. Let's climb in here. You see us? All right. And then we're going to tell Brad and the Inman team happy 20th anniversary. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy anniversary! All right. So welcome. You all are troopers for being here. We're so excited to have you on a Friday. We've got a great lineup today. Incredible content all the way to the end. And I'm going to share a super pro tip for networking with everyone to start us off. A good friend of mine, Shelly Kramer, runs a marketing company in the Midwest, told me, whenever you go to a conference like this, stay one extra day. So here's the pro tip. Stay one extra day, and on that last day, have a meal or a drink with someone you met that week. So super power networking advice. I'm going to stay till Saturday. Tonight I'm going to get together with someone I met this week and with some old friends. So we have today Moore Zucker, who, like Gary told us, is created 2 companies, her own media publishing and a real estate company. So Moore, tell us where you're from and who you are.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're all okay from last night, recovering. I grew up in Israel by the way of London, where I met my husband, and I made it to Denver about 9 years ago. And coming into Denver, I decided I want to be the voice of Denver consciously. So we'll get into that, how I did that in a second.
Cool. So coming from Israel via London to America, you don't really know anyone.
Correct.
And one of the things, I think when we look back and we have the town hall, the open forum, one of the big takeaways yesterday was you have to be 2 things now. Gary Vee talked about it, right? Not just the mayor of your town, the digital mayor of your town, but you also need to think of your company as a media publishing company. So tell us about how you decided to get into media publishing.
Absolutely. So I really believe that self-promotion can be done in so many ways. However, realtors often do it by just promoting their listings and things just to do with real estate. But really, when you think about it, real estate is so much more than just the properties that you're selling. Having a firm grasp of what's happening in the neighborhoods that real estate is being sold makes you a better realtor for it. For me to know where restaurants are opening up, what places are hip and happening, new places kids can go on the weekend, makes me more of an expert in that. And I decided I want to share that, and that is the only way I am going to be able to be found without also just shouting Moore Zucker, the realtor. I am giving them value by the fact that they find me because the information I provide is important to them.
Give us an example. You told me a story last night about someone finding you through the Denver Ear and then that turning into business.
Absolutely. So somebody reaches out, says, hey, I read your website all the time. Thank you for all the information that you share. I'd like to see a property in this area of this restaurant that just opened. And I come out there and I say, oh, while we tour the property, I also say, oh, by the way, that restaurant that you really liked, did you know that another one is opening up by Troy Gard, who is a very well-respected chef 2 streets away? And she was like, wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing. That, for me, gives me more of a reason to purchase this property because I like walking to nearby restaurants. So you're giving them value that is more than the number of bedrooms. It's more than basically the things that property is sold for. It's for their lifestyle, things that matter to them. This is what you give.
So is everyone catching that? So we're talking about self-promotion and how to do it tastefully, because we know that we have to do self-promotion in today's fishbowl. And what Moore's doing is creating value and talking about this chef opening this new restaurant, which is not her saying, look at me or look at my listing, but she's saying, here's some relevant piece of news happening in this neighborhood, and here's how it impacts you. She's self-promoting herself, and there's a lot of people in this room I see over here, and she does an incredible job of this, right? So you want to think about, when you're talking about self-promotion, what Moore's doing is promoting others, okay? Tasteful self-promotion. And what's this done for business? You're in your third year of business?
Correct, I'm entering my third year. It's, first of all, actually does give me more information about the properties that I'm selling. I know more about them. It does make me more of an expert in my field. I'm giving value to the person on the other side, and they keep finding me over and over again. I don't need to always remind them who I am. I don't have to stay top of mind as much as others, because I am top of mind, because they need the information that I provide in order to find out what's happening this weekend around Denver. So that also gives me business. People reach out to me because basically people like to work with people that they know. When they don't know anyone in the area, they will prefer to work with somebody that they feel close to. And for me to let them know all the things happening in their city, I become that person that is well known for that. And it's more than the person on the list of Zillow with 4 names on the right-hand side where they have to pick and choose because that one seems like a good choice. Or even more than the sold sign across the street. I have a face, I have a name, I provide them something, and that is how I also get more business.
So we've covered a lot of do's. And I know everyone here wants to hear about don'ts. What not to do when we're self-promoting, when we're using self-promotion as a tool to generate more business, more awareness, grow our network. Tell us some don'ts.
I think this year, more than ever, with the elections coming up, reminding yourself that even though you are choosing a way to promote yourself and people get to know you, try to avoid, I would say avoid at all costs, but anything political, religious, or things that could harm you by having somebody that has an opposing view of yours.
I hear laughter. So how many in this room have unfollowed someone for a political post this year? Show of hands. Okay, wow. I've unfollowed about 3/4 of my friends. Okay.
People get so passionate.
So politics, religion, big no's. Unless it's your field of expertise, unless it's your business, unless you're in the business of politics or you're in the business of religion, you don't want to be out there talking about it unless you're willing to alienate potential new clients, existing clients.
There's something to be said also about being a negative Nancy online, ranting and saying negative things. Positivity is something that you want to be associated with, not negativity. I don't mention anything. I could go and review things I didn't like about a restaurant. I don't do that. Only positive things. Don't create enemies.
Does everybody get that? We don't want to be the complaint center online, okay? So politics, religion, complaint center, and give us one more don't.
I would say do things with quality. Quality over quantity is super important. I see people trying to do something similar and they will just dole out tons of content, but it has no message. Do even one piece of content that gives value rather than 100 that don't, basically.
Okay, third, quality over quantity, right? And this is another one we heard Gary talk about, testing new platforms. Perfectly fine. You know, I heard Locke from Curbed years ago, now with Vox, talk about he tried Pinterest, you know, a couple years ago. You had to do Pinterest, you have to do Pinterest. He tried it, he hated it. So you don't have to do it, okay? If you're not interested in it, its quality is the most important thing.
I also want to mention about resilience. You know, when I started this website, everyone was doubting it. Oh, you're wasting your time about writing about things that happened to Denver. This is time that you could be spending going out and getting more listings, going out and meeting more buyers. I believed in my idea, and a lot of people tried to sway me off of it, but I wasn't. I wasn't gonna let them do that. I was working hard every day because I believed in it, and if you believe in something and you love it, then go for it and just don't listen to naysayers.
Wow, can we give more a round of applause for that? She stuck with it. She has 140,000 people coming to her site now as a publisher every single month. So it's a very, very impressive thing in a short amount of time. So we're just about to wrap it up, and what we put together for you is a 10 rules of PR in the spirit of self-promotion. So we're going to run through those real quick, and we're going to be around. We've got an incredible, day for you, and we're very excited to talk with you later. So number one is, let's get the slides up, is if you don't tell your story, someone else will. So when we talk about self-promotion, if you're not actively sharing the excitement you have for your business, someone else is going to fill that void, and someone else is going to tell that story. Number two, Moore just talked about this. Don't give up. This is true in your business. Every day in real estate, we go through rejection. Same exact thing with promotion. Same exact thing with media. Every day we go through rejection, but we have to persevere. We have to stick with it if we truly want to see success. Stay on message. No one's going to really repeat your story. No one's going to share your story if you're constantly changing it, if it's not memorable, if it's not succinct, and if it's not something that's exciting to share. So often we get tired of telling our story, but you have to always make sure it's succinct, shareable, and consistent. Don't be afraid to be different. So this is where, if like what Moore's done with her media publishing efforts, she took an approach where she's thinking more about new restaurants and nightlife in her publishing. She's not necessarily talking about tax tips and the traditional real estate content. So don't be afraid to be different. Show up. So much of this is consistency, right? This is something where if we really want to see the fruits of our labor, we have to be there every single day. Self-promotion. You can't just dabble in, one of these publishing platforms and then look at your phone, it's not ringing, and then go away for 3 months. So the consistency is key. Always plan. So the whole year, you've got to be thinking about what you're promoting. Number 7, when you have someone's attention, this is a big, important one. When you have someone's attention, make sure you're adding value. Make sure you're keeping their attention. Number 9, leverage your story by partnering with local restaurants, local businesses. That's just going to grow the energy and the excitement about your self-promotion.
Absolutely.
And make sure you're giving back to that community. This is a subject that's very near and dear to my heart and is becoming quite popular. And the final one from Brad Inman, if you live in the fishbowl, you will get algae. So be careful out there. Thank you so much. Thank you, Moore.
Thank you.